Alright, what is going on, everybody? And we finally are at the finale or conclusion of this mini filler arc in Black Clover, wrapping up with the devil believers and all of that. Honestly, all in all, now that it's completed, I feel like it was pretty okay. Like, it wasn't like, the best filler arc ever, but it by no means, it wasn't bad. I do kind of like that it was a lot different than what I expected it to be in the end. Like, cause I know, like, if any of you have been watching my episode reviews on this for a while, I've referenced like a big fight at the end, and I don't see like what the big villain or what the big end game goal here was gonna be. But it was cool to see that like it was more of like just I guess more or less a peaceful resolution almost. It wasn't necessarily a huge fight, which was interesting to see, at least from my perspective. Among battle shonens, at least in filler, there's typically a fight at the end. I mean, granted, we did get a fight, but it wasn't like what I was expecting. So basically, into the episode, I really just want to touch on some of the key, like, bigger moments, or at least moments that stuck out to me, just so I can really talk about the ending of it. So like, I guess, like, obviously in the very beginning we get to see more of Bo and Dazu's relationship in the beginning. I'm pretty sure that there was no one who didn't think that they were together or wanted to be together. I understand why they didn't like just show them in full on, I guess for lack of a better words, relationship mode. In the episode, just because I feel like for anime, especially for like Japan and all that, that might be a bit much. I know, like, I feel like they may or may not be as forward as the US is on those kinds of things, but hey, I could be wrong, but that's just what I thought of it. That's just what I thought it was. Now the whole now, like, one of the first moments with like Asta jerking back his rope and then using that opportunity to like rescue Noelle and Nero was kind of cool. I kind of feel like you could have did that earlier. If your only goal was just to save them, you could have just did that. But hey, it's because plot. So I mean, I'll let that one slide. The next moment that really stuck out to me was when Dazu kind of like, got everybody to give their magic or their mana to her so she could combine them all for her catalyst magic. Quick note, it was very interesting to see that all of their grimoires were like really, really, really small. So like, that's just a little peek into the Black Clover lore, that if you more than likely don't have a lot of mana, your grimoire is just gonna be mad small. So that's like, a cool tidbit there. But I wish we would have got to see her do something with all that collected mana, with her catalyst magic. Like, I wish catalyst magic would have gotten displayed at least a little bit, just because to me catalyst magic just, it's such an interesting premise, being able to combine magics and then get effects from them. I really, really, really wish we could have seen her do something like at least shoot a blast at the giant ice monster, or at least attempt to attack somebody with it, just at least show us something. I'm probably gonna make a video on catalyst magic in my attribute index, just because I want to talk about it, just because I really wish they would have did something with it, but that's a video for another day. The giant ice monster fight scene was really hype between a couple of the captains. Even in the beginning moments, they have Magna get a little bit of shine, Noelle have a little bit of shine. Even Asta without his grimoire headbutted the rock. That part actually was really funny to me. I thought, like, I laughed, because when he was running up, I'm like, what is he about to do? And he just headbutts the rock and his like forehead's all bleeding. I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely a Asta move there. And then yeah, going into like the captains handler, like the captains, I honestly believe any of them individually could have handled this like no problem, because they like Fuegoleon and his Ignis column just like to block the beam, and then like Yami like slicing it up, and Nozel, he made footholds, and then he like Nozel sliced the monster like basically in half on his own. So it's like that giant ice beast stood literally no chance against the captains. It was, really cool to see that. Almost kind of reminded me of the opening a little bit, like when Jack was running on William's trees, kind of like how Yami was running on Nozel's his Mercury. It kind of reminded me of that. But anyway, I really did enjoy the part where like Fuegoleon and William and all of them were just talking to all of the like random people, like not the main devil believers, but I do really enjoy when they're talking to everyone else. Because they even tell you guys technically haven't committed a crime yet, so we're not here to punish you, we're not here to arrest you, any of that. We're just asking you to like believe in us and all that. And I was like, I really, really did like that moment, because like it just shows that like the Clover Kingdom is trying to head in the right direction. At least the military side of the Clover Kingdom is more or less in the right direction. Like the majority, I want to say all of the leaders, Like, 'cause I don't know any captains that are really like really classist. I mean, Nozelle's still on the fence for me. Granted, he did a little bit of talking here too, but he's still on the fence for me. I don't know if he really is super cool with peasants all like that. But aside from that, there are definitely captains that can relate to them. So like just them being able to do that was cool. And then they just walked off. I don't really have too much of an issue with that at all. It seemed about okay to me. It wasn't like a huge like inconsistency, I guess. And then this part, I feel like I know a lot of people were kind of mixed on it on Twitter, with Demonato's judging of the main cast of Devil Believers with Bo, Dazu, and the rest of them. Now, I didn't really have an issue with this. Granted, they did, incite riots, murdered 3 people, kidnapped 2 girls. Like, they definitely did some bad stuff. But being exiled is a proper punishment. Like, I don't really see much of an issue with that. Like, not every punishment calls for like an execution. Like, we don't need to string them up and run them down through the main streets of the capital and like chop their heads off or anything. Like, we don't necessarily need all of that. I feel like exiling them was fine. We're already out here. Might as well just you guys can never come back. I see no issue with that at all. I actually kind of liked it. Now, them acting like, well, we get to choose where we go, like that part, I was a little on the fence on, because it's like, there's like 5 captains here, a bunch of Magic Knights. You don't get to pick where you go. You're gonna go where we tell you to. But that's just a nitpick. That's a really small nitpick. That doesn't really take anything away from the episode. That's just my own personal preference. And then from there, we get like the little moment of Dazu handing back Asta his grimoire. This part was probably, out of everything in the episode, bothered me the most. Not saying that there's lots of things in the episode that bothered me, because like I said before, most of them have just been small nitpicks. But like this part kind of really did bother me, because no one was really trying to get Asta's grimoire back. And like, I get it that was a theme of this moment or of this episode. Like, the Magic Knights are doing everything they can to protect and help them without trying to get Asta's grimoire back. Like, I get it. That was an entire theme. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like they can't ignore the significance of Asta's part that he plays in the future. Because even the Heart Kingdom even said that Asta will play a pivotal role. His anti-magic has always played a pivotal role. So just them not really being too focused on getting his grimoire back, it was a little weird to me. Even so much as when she was getting exiled, it looks like if she just didn't stop, they would have just let her go with Asta's grimoire, which is weird, really weird. That moment took it out of me for a little bit. Granted, it was cool. It was a good moment for Dazu. She hands him back the grimoire and says, I could have been like you. Nice little moment there, but still a little weird that they were just gonna let her go with Asta's grimoire. And then at the end of the episode, I really thought that this whole thing was gonna wrap up without us ever getting to hear or see necessarily what Dazu's husband said to her in the end. But luckily, in the ending, we did get to see that he actually was a horrible person. Because before, she would just say like, oh, they never said anything about it, but I could just tell that like they had looked down on me, and for a while I was a little skeptical. They did seem shady, just the whole thing seemed shady, but just it had just been so long without us getting any indication of that. So like, to finally get to see it in the end that he did actually feel the way that she thought he felt, and that's why she decided to let him die. I felt like that was really good on their part. There's not really anything I can nitpick from there outside of just a personal preference. I feel like overall it was a really solid mini filler arc, like easily 6 out of 10, because it wasn't like it was trying to be the best thing ever. It was just trying to, it was exactly what it was, and I can appreciate it for what it is. So let me know how you guys feel about the arc as a whole down below. Let me know how you guys feel about the conclusion. As for the previews for next week, we're finally getting into the Heart Kingdom stuff, so I don't know if they're going to necessarily start training, or if we're just going to just be getting like just the little intro. I probably feel like it's going to be that one I just said. We're just going to be getting the little intro. We got to see like, it looks like we're going to get to see a Yami and Gaja interaction, which I feel like could be very interesting, just to see how those characters interact with each other. More of Laura Petchka. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but I am a fan of her character. It's weird. I have like a love-hate relationship for Laura Petchka. I won't go into that, but like, I love her character, but I hate her character at the exact same time. But that will be enough of that. Make sure you guys like the video as well as sub to my channel. I really do appreciate all of the support that you guys have been giving me up until this point, but I really do want the channel to grow as big as it possibly can, and I need you guys' help to make that happen. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in my next video.